तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवम् साद्वतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य तोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदताम् ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजता दधोक्षजय आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहैतुकी। We are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 12, verse number 5. Sri Krishna is explaining here what makes him very pleased or what attracts his heart, what controls him. So he said that it is satsanga which controls or attracts his heart, and there are no other processes, whether it is sankhya, yoga, dharma, swadhyaya, tyag, tapasya, ishtapurta, dakshina, all that. They can attract him only if there is some satsanga or bhakti involved with them. And then he said that many great people in the past, they became great only because of bhakti. and it is in all species of life, whether they are devas, human beings, asuras, rakshasas, animals, birds, reptiles, and even trees, plants, etc. So it says all the people in various species of life in different yugas, they may be sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, they became devoted only by the influence of satsanga. So this is very important instruction of Krishna, because he is giving the secret that how one gets bhakti. Because bhakti is not material, so it is not an outcome of some material activity. This question was asked in the previous class, that sometimes we see that people have satsanga, but then they are doing also some activities which do not fall into the fold of devotional service. So it is always to be understood that when there is something good, if it is not used properly, then it can also have contrary effect. Just like we hear so much praise, glorification of the name of Bhagavan, that how Bhagavan's name, one name can make one free from all sins, can give mukti, can give bhakti. But if name is offended, if you commit offense, then it does not manifest its power. So then you say, why people are not getting any effect? They are chanting. Same with dham, same with satsanga. So therefore we see people, they associate with great sadhus, but then their heart remains impure. So this is because they are not associating with proper mood. So just like water, if it pour on neem tree, it gives bitter fruit or bitter leaves. If it is poured on mango tree, it gives sweet fruit. So it is the characteristic of the recipient. So something is good, but if the recipient is not taking it properly, then it may not give that effect. So that also we have to consider that. So therefore, if one has the opportunity for satsanga, then one should take it, considering oneself as very fortunate to have that opportunity and not misuse it or not try to get some material benefit from that. So that's what happens sometimes. Mohini.
I have a question on one of the previous classes. It was maybe 2 days ago, in the verse where it was like described what one should offer to Bhagavan. It's like when it is the best in the world, and you also added a comment that it should be also best in the Shastra. And then the example was given that the Darba grass is manjari, is praised in Shastra, but it is not used by the Loka. So can you, for me it does not make sense when something is praised in Shastra, why the people don't use it then? Or in what context it is praised and why the people don't use it?
Yeah, we don't eat grass. Do you eat grass?
No, we don't eat grass.
Why?
Because it has nothing what would nourish us,
Yeah,
or it's not beneficial for our stomach.
so it's same thing. It is praised because it has some spiritual or religious qualities. It's not meant for eating.
Okay, so this manjari from Darba grass, what is the purpose of that?
It is used in puja. If you have done some yajna, they have durba grass. It's used in worship.
So in worship, this grass and these manjaris are used
Yeah.
for people who, oh,
Bhushan.
Babaji Pranam, I have this question for Purva Mimamsa angle. So what Sri Krishna is saying is that one should respect sadhus, do seva to them, that's the right association, and the other one, offending them, will screw you up. And then there is and that's a nished, one should not offend them. And then there are stories in the Shastra where when you serve sadhus, as you get benefit, you get bhakti. And there are stories on the nished side, there are two kinds of stories. One is, for example, like Durvas and Ambarish or Indradumya and Agastya Muni, where they are offended and they got severe problems. But then there are also stories like Nalakuva and Manigiri where they offended Narad Muni, or even they should go to hell in principle, or even this Rahugad, Maharaj Rahugad, he offended, he should have immediately gotten severe punishment. But we see that is not always the case, right? Shouldn't the Nishad principle always apply? And even if you offend little bit, you should always get severe problems.
Yeah, so you have to also understand that these spiritual people or spiritual name or spiritual abode of Bhagavan, Holy Tirtha, they are not just some material thing that if you eat it, it will give you benefit. If you eat it wrongly, it will harm you. They also have personalities. So they can still benefit you, because considering that you are ignorant or you ask forgiveness, like Nalkubar, Manigriv, they asked forgiveness, then Narad forgave them, but still they have to become tree. So that is Narada's good-hearted nature. So we should not take advantage of that, thinking that anyway sadhus are very compassionate, even if you offend them, they will not be offended. What if they get offended? So everybody has their own nature. Okay. So verse number 5, Bahavo mat padam prapta tvashtra kaya dhavadayah vrisha parva balirvano mayaschat vibhishanah sugrivo hanuman riksho गजो गृध्रो वणिक्पथः व्याधः कुब्जा व्रजे गोप्यो यज्ञपत्नस्तथा परे. So now Krishna is giving example of many people who became devotee because of the association of sadhu. So he says Bhavo mat padam prapta, that many people they attained my feet. Pada means feet, pada also means abode, my association. So then he says Tvashtra, the first one is Vritrasura. Tvashtra is Vritrasura. So he was King Chitraketu before, you know the story. Then Kayadhava, Kayadu is Prahlad's mother's name. So Prahlad became great devotee because of Narada's association. Vrisparva was also a king. Then Bali, you know Bali Maharaj. So Vamandev, but also association of his grandfather Prahlad. Then Banasura, son of Bali. Maya also he got association of the Pandavas. Vibhishan got association of Hanuman. Sugriv, Hanuman, so they all got association of Bhagavan himself. Riksha is Jambavan. Gajendra, he was king. Gridhra is Jatayu. Then Vanikpatha is one what you call shopkeeper. So his story is there in Mahabharata, that there was one man, his name was Jajali. Jajali performed very big austerities. He left home, he went into forest, and he stood meditating, and he reduced his bodily needs. He was standing in one place, rainy season, summer, heat, cold. He did not move. Like we have Khade Baba in Vrindavan, Khadeshwari. They keep standing. They sleep standing. So he was standing and without any support. So much that the birds nearby, they thought that he's some tree. So the birds made a nest in his matted hair because he was not moving. And then they gave eggs. So then he realized that birds have, hatched eggs there and given. So then he did not want to move because he says, if I move, then they will not find their house and what will happen to the babies. So he kept on standing there till the birds came out from the eggs, and then still they're there because they cannot fly, and the birds are bringing food, the parents, and they're feeding. Finally one day these birds flew away, then he moved from there. But he thought that who can do this type of austerity like this? How great I am. So this pride came. Because if you are not a devotee, then pride is guaranteed. Whatever you become successful in, this will bring pride. You see this all the time in the material world. Anybody who becomes successful becomes proud. So when he was feeling like this, that how I am so great, so then there was a voice in the sky, and he said, yes, you are great, but you are not as great as that shopkeeper in Banaras. So this was a shock to him. He says, what? Did I hear it right? So he thought that some shopkeeper is better than me. So he thought, I have to go and see him. So he walked all the way and he reached Banaras looking for this shopkeeper. So finally he arrived at that place. When he reached there, he saw the shopkeeper was doing his business. Customers are coming, they are buying things, going. So he thought that maybe he had some ashram behind the shop, some dharmshala, and this is just some part-time thing, he does that. But then when he was standing there, he says, come on, I know why you have come. He says, you are Jajali, right? So that was even more shocking to him. He says, how does this fellow know? Nobody knows that I am coming here. So then he spoke to him, gave him very nice instructions. So this is that Vanikpatha, that he was a devotee. And then similar stories of Vyadha, Dharma Vyadha, is also from Mahabharata. There was another person, his name was Kaushika. And this Kaushika also decided to do austerities, tapasya, meditation. So he went to forest and he did meditation for a long time. So one day he was sitting under a tree meditating. There was one bird which came and sat on the tree, and the bird dropped the dropping and they fell on his head. So he felt it, the warm stuff on his head. And then he touched and he realized, oh, this is dropping of the bird. So he was a little upset. So he looked up to the bird out of anger, and the bird fell dead. So he realized, oh, I am so powerful that I can kill the bird just by my looks. So I have accomplished. So then he went to the village for begging alms for food. He is standing at the gate and Bhiksham Dehi. So he said this, that give me alms, and the lady did not come out. Then he said again, Bhiksham Dehi. So the lady did not come out. And she shouted from inside, don't be impatient, wait, I am coming. So she took some time before she came out. So this Kaushik was upset. He says, I am standing here waiting. Didn't you hear what I said? He says, yeah, I heard. But don't think I am the bird. So Kaushik was very shocked. He says, what? I was in the forest and then nobody saw me. How does she know? So he became very humble. He says, how you know that this bird was killed? He says, yeah, I know. So don't be proud that you are doing tapasya, and don't think that you are so great. So he became very humble. He says, Mataji, tell me the secret. How you have this power? So he says, nothing, I just do my duty. I am very devoted to my husband. I was doing service to him. When he came, he was eating. So I have to first serve him food, then come take care of him. So he said that, can you teach me about what is dharma? So he says, no, I am not qualified. If you want to know what is dharma, you should go and meet this butcher in Mithila. So that was another shock to him. He says, I have to go and hear class from a butcher. So anyway, he went. And when he went, the butcher was selling meat in the shop. So first he felt very repelled. He says, what I have to hear from him? Because he was a Brahman, vegetarian, vegan, only plant-based. Right? So then Dharmvyad said that, oh, you are Kaushik, right? And you have been sent by that lady. So he said, yes. He says, wait, let me finish, then I will go home and then we will talk. So then there's actually Vyad Gita. The Gita spoken by the butcher. There are many Gitas in Mahabharata. So one of them is Vyad Gita. So this is the Vyad who is mentioned here. And then Kubja, everybody knows about her. And Vraje Gopya, and the gopis in Vraja, and Yag Pyatnes Tathapare, and the wives of the Brahmanas. And then he says Apare, that there are many others who became devoted by satsanga. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he comments. He says, Twastro Vritra, Twastra is Vritrasura, Kayadhavaha Prahlada, Kayadhava is Prahlad. Anayo Janmataha Prag Eva Narada Sangha. So he says that they had attained the association of Narada before birth. So we know that Prahlad heard teachings of Narada, but there are some stories also that he got association before also. And Vritrasura was King Chitraketu. He got association of Narada and Angirasa, right? Then a son was born, then he was poisoned. Then they came and spoke to him. Then he did chanting of the mantra. Then he had darshan of Sankarshan. Then he was cursed by Parvati to become an asura. So that story is there in Bhāgavatam. Then Vrishparva itiyam jatmatra eva matri parityakto muni palito Vishnu bhakto abhut iti pauraniki prasiddhi. So Vrishparva, he said that when he was born, the mother abandoned him right after birth. He is some Danava. So it is not very clear whether he is the same one, but there is a Vrishparva who was also a disciple of Sukracharya, father of Sarmishtha, who was friend of Devyani, daughter of Sukracharya, and they had fight with each other, Sarmishtha and Devyani, because Sarmishtha she put on the dress of Devyani when they were taking bath in a pond, and I think Shiva was passing by, so they ran to cover themselves, and in hurry she put on the dress of Devyani, and Devyani became angry that you are the son of Daitya and I am the son of Sukracharya, your father's guru, how dare you put on my dress. So she was also a princess, she also could not hold her tongue. She said, your father stands at the gate of my father like a dog. So then she became very angry and she pushed Devyani into a well and left from there. And then she was saved by Yayati. But then she got very angry and Sukracharya had to pacify her, but she said, no, we cannot be here, we have to leave this place. I cannot tolerate this disrespect. So then Vrishparva came and pacified Devyani, and she said, only if Sarmishtha becomes my servant. So then Sarmishtha agreed. So then there is a whole story. So that is the Vrishparva. I am not sure if he is same one, because at least in Bhāgavatam there is no story like that he was abandoned by the mother. So here he says that Vrishparva itiyam jatamatra eva matri parityakto. But Jiva Goswami says that Vrishparva is a Danava. So that makes more possible that it was the same person. Then he was brought up by the sages, and therefore by their company he became a devotee. Iti Pauraniki Prasiddhi. This is said in some Purana, I don't know where. Then Bali hai Prahlad Sangha. Bali Maharaj got association of Prahlad. Banasya Bahuched Samaye Kripalor Mahadevasya Sangha. Then Banasura, he got the association of Mahadev, who is very compassionate, gracious. Mayasya Sabha Nirmane Pandav Sangha. Maya Danav, he got the association of Pandavas. Maya Danav used to live in the Khandava forest. This is where Delhi is now. So this is the forest which was burnt by Arjuna to satisfy Agni Dev, who was having indigestion because of drinking too much ghee. So when he burned that, at that time Maya Danav was inside that. So Arjuna saved him, he did not kill him. So then he became their friend, and he is the one who made the assembly house for the Pandavas when they were ruling at Indraprastha. It is the same one where Duryodhana got illusioned by seeing the land as water, water as land. So that was the job of Mayadana. He is supposed to be a great devotee of sun god. So he is also good at Jyotish. So he wrote some book on Jyotish. So it seems he also became a devotee. Then Vibhishanasya Hanumat Sangha. Vibhishan got the association of Hanuman when Hanuman was going around burning Lanka, or he was searching Sita, then he met him. Sugrivadinam Trayanam Lakshmana Sangha. So Sugriv, and then who is the Rikshraj, that Jambavan, Hanuman, they all got the association of Lakshman. Gajo Gajendra Asya Puru Janmani Naradadi Sangha. Gajendra in the previous life, he was king, Indradyumna. So became cursed by Agastya Rishi. So he also got association of Narada Rishi. Gridhrai Jatayu Asya Garud Dasarath Adi Sangha. He was friend of Dasarath also. That's why he fought with Ravana when Ravana was kidnapping Sita. And Garuda. Is he Garuda's descendant, Jatayu? Is he related to Garuda? No? And Jatayu? And eagle is also. So they were not two brothers, Jatayu and another one? Sampati. Okay.
But I think both are vultures.
Yeah, but somehow they are friendly with Garuda. So Vanikpatha Stuladharo Bharat Prasiddha. So Vanikpatha is the same as Stuladhar, that shopkeeper. And so he says Bharat Prasiddha means the story is famous in Mahabharata. It's a famous story. Asya Satsango Mrigya. There is no knowledge whose association he got to become a devotee. So he says you can search, go on Google. So Vishwanath Chakravarti says that please go on Google and check. Because he's saying Mrigya, he says search it.
Actually, checking on Jatayu and Sampati, they are Aruna's children.
Aruna, that's why I said that there is a relationship with Garuda.
Yeah.
So Aruna is Garuda, so they are nephews of Garuda.
Garuda, yeah. Aruna and Sheni. There's it.
Shen is also vulture. Baj. Shen Yag. So Vyadha, Dharma Vyadha. So Vyadha is also Dharma Vyadha. Asya Prag Brahma Rakshastam Praptasya Varha Purana Drishtena Vaishnavena Ragya Sahasanga. So this Vyadha is Dharma Vyadha, and he had association with some Vaishnava king. I think there is a story, maybe it is given by Jiva Goswami, little more detail. So Dharmvyada Shudro Antyajo api Atra Adi Varaha Katham Kathayam. So Jiva Goswami is writing little more. Kvachit Prachine Kaliyuge Vasu Namna Vaishnavena Ragya Prag Janmani Mrig Bhrantya Nihato Brahmano Brahma Rakshastam Praptasya Prapanchik Vishnu Loka Vishesh Gaman Se Tat Shariram Pravishta Punasya Tasya Tad Bhogante Rajtam Praptasya Dehat Tat Kartrik Brahma Parakhya Stav Patha Tejasa Nirgatas Tat Krit Dharma Vyadaiti Nama Hinshatisya Vimukho Paryavashane Drishti Nivadrinathastam Chastatuvan Prapta Tadalinganas Tat Sayujyameva Vapa. So there is a long story of this Dharma Vyadha. There was a king in previous Kali Yuga whose name was Vasu. He was a devotee king, but he went for hunting. Devotee also, little bit hunting kings. So by mistake he killed a sage, thinking that he is a mriga. Just like Pandu, same thing happened with Pandu, father of Pandavas, killed a sage who was in the form of a mriga. So this also happened to this king. So this Brahmana was killed. So when this Brahmana was killed, the Brahmana became Brahma Rakshasa. And then when the king went into Vishnu Loka, not permanently, in the material world there is a Vishnu Loka, he went there, so this Brahma Rakshasa also entered into his body and went to Vishnu Loka. Then the king came down to earth and he became king again. And then he recited Brahma Parakhya Stav Path. He did one Stav Path. So then this Brahma Rakshas came out. And then he became Vyadha. He was born Vyadha, but although he was selling meat, because he is born in the family of butchers, but he was not killing himself. So here he says that Hinsha Atisha Vimukha. He was completely against violence. And then in that life he had darshan of Lord Jagannath, Niladri Chala, Niladrinath. He recited prayers to Jagannath, and Jagannath embraced him. And then he says he got Sahyajya Mukti. So that is the story of this Vyadha. So Kubjaya Purujamni Janmani Narad Sangha Mathur Harivanse Prasiddham. So Kubja, she also got association of Narada in the past life. This is described in Harivansa Mahapuran. I could not find it.
Babaji, Vrajananda was writing in the chat, Dasharat Maharaj as well. Vrajananda is asking, Dasharat Maharaj as well. I think about the story you were telling just few minutes before.
Yeah, but he did not kill. Okay, he killed that Shravana. Yeah. Hiding, thinking that he is also some animal drinking water in the Saryu river. So anyway, the story of Kubja, I don't know. I could not find it. But he says that it is in Harivansa Mahapuran. Then Gopya Muni Charyadya Puru Janmani Krit Bahu Sadhu Sangha Eva Etad Janmani Nitya Siddha Gopi Sangini. The gopis here are not the eternal gopis, but they are the sadhaka gopis, and they were municharis, they were sages in the previous life. So there they had association of Ramchandra also, right? It's mentioned in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also. Some story from Padma Purana. So they became gopis in this life. They also had sadhu sangha. And then in this life they got the association of the Nitya Siddha gopis, because they were born in Braj or they got married and came to Braj by marriage. So that is their story. Yajna Patni Nam. So we know the story of the Yajna Patni, the wives of the Brahmanas of Mathura. Vrajastha Sri Krishna Duti Bhir Malika Tambulikadi Stribhi Kriya Vikrayadi Artham Mathura Prasthana Samya Sangha. So where did they get association? He says that many times people from Braj will go to Mathura to buy something or to sell something, like selling garlands, selling tambula. And they were coming from Braj, so they will hear about Krishna from them. and they were also devotees of Krishna. So in this way, they became devoted to Krishna. So these are all the people which Krishna mentions here. Then it says, Tenadhita Shruti Gana Nopashita Mahattamaha Avratataptatapsaha Satsangan Mamupagataha. So he says that these people, they did not study the Vedas, nor did they go to Gurukula and do worship of the Guru and study under him. They did not follow any vratas, they did not engage in any austerities, atapta tapsa, but only by satsanga they attained me. So he says satsangan mamupagata, they attained me by satsanga. So here in place of satsanga there is also another reading, matsanga. So both reading are there. Matsanga means by my association. Satsanga means by devotee association. So both readings fit there. Tesham sadhu sangotha yatha prakriti pradhani bhuta kevla cha bhaktireva natu sadhana antaram. So he says that all these people, they attained Kevala Bhakti or Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti, means either they attained pure devotion or they attained mixed devotion. But they attained it only by sadhu sangha, not by doing any other sadhana, any other practice, sadhana antaram, and that is being described here. So means that their attainment of bhakti was not that they engaged in some special practice of bhakti, but only by the effect of sadhu sangha. So na ten iti na adhita shruti gana yaistadartham chana upashita mattama. So they did not study the Vedas, and therefore they did not go to Gurukula and worship some great gurus. Shruti artha grahitaro muniyo yaiste, means the sages who teach Vedas, they did not render any service to them. Na vratani, nor do they engage in any vrata, etc. Na taptani tapansi yaiste, they also did not engage in any tapasya, austerity. Te cha tatha kintu Satsange naiva hetuna bhaktya satsangat matsangam prapya mamga upagata. But only by the power of satsanga and bhaktya. So means their bhakti was in the form of satsanga. So satsange hetuna bhaktya satsangat matsangam prapya mamupagata. So then they attained my sangha because of that. And then they attained me. Sadbhi sango nam mama eva sangha ityartha. So if you take the reading as mat sangha, it says that mat sangha does not mean that they directly associated with me, but their association with devotees is also association with me. It has to be understood like that. Sandeep ji kya?
So, regarding this shloka, I was thinking that when they associate with these, when they do sadhu sangha, sat sangha, like in the previous shloka also, last 4 slokas, even if they have not studied Vedas, but it will be like Krishna will be discussed about Krishna's activities. So Vedas is also that same thing. So I am not very clear, and Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Matchit Matkat Prana Bodhante Parasparam. So I am not able to understand this point that they did not study Vedas, they did not perform austerities, they did not do vows, but whenever you are associating with devotees, even if we take the previous example also, they are following a particular way of life, so that person will be influenced or inspired to follow that. So
But
can it be like why he is saying not studied Vedas, etc.
yeah, but if you associate with sadhus and their devotees, how do they study Veda? Study of Veda means there is a process to study them. You have to chant them, you have to recite, you have to have the Upnayana Samskara. So they do not do that. So how is it studying of Vedas associating with sadhus? Study of Veda is a whole process. You go to the Gurukula, you live with the teacher, and that's how you study.
But the topic of Vedas is again Krishna only. So
No, that is okay, but that doesn't mean, just like if you read Bhagavad Gita, you cannot say I studied Vedas. Okay, studied Bhagavad Gita, but not Veda. Studying of Veda is studying of Veda. There's a process for that, and there is a Veda, is a book.
it means in that sense, okay.
Purushottam Prabhu.
In the previous verse, there's a avata and then tapta. So why is avrata is used there? Or it is looks like plural and then singular?
No, it is
Avrata tapta tapasaha.
avrata and atapta tapasa together.
Oh, okay. Avrata and atapta tapasaha. Okay.
Yeah. Bhushan.
Lalita was wondering that from these examples, it looks like the person who is giving the bhakti is always in a higher position. The person who is receiving it, whether it's Arjun, whether it's Shri Lakshman or Shri Hanuman, all of them are in a superior position. So can it be said that to receive such a bhakti, necessarily the person who is giving it, at least one should consider them to be a master or in a superior position.
Yeah, I mean they're superior, that's why they're giving. If they are like the person who is receiving, how they will give?
So, like for example, there is no mention of friendship, right? And all of them are like master servant or guru shikha disciple. There is no friendship which creates bhakti or husband wife which creates bhakti. It's only a higher kind of relationship.
No, it's like he's saying that what he's talking about. Vibhishan met Hanuman. So it was not like some guru or a disciple relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Just two people meeting.
Okay.
Or they say,
Okay, I understand. Mm-hmm.
or he said that Sugriva, he met Lakshman. And Hanuman also met Lakshman. So there is nothing that it is guru-disciple thing. केवलेन हि भावेन गोप्यो गावो नगा मृगः येन्ये मूढ़धियो नागः सिद्धा मामीयुरंजसा. So now he comes to something even superior, where he talks about bhav. He says that the gopis, cows, mountain, animals, and even other foolish living beings like snakes, they became perfected only by bhav, and then they attained me effortlessly, anjasa. So here basically what is being stressed here is the bhav. So just as we saw the story of say Jajali or this Kaushika. So generally what we think is that spirituality means that something very extraordinary, externally looking activity you have to do. Fasting, doing parikrama, right? Something unusual you have to do. Basically, tapasya is always seen that great people did a lot of tapasya. And then they are called great sages, spiritualists. But here in bhakti, what is important is the change of heart. Because bhav, as you remember, is internal. It's nothing external about it. Externally it will manifest in action because of whenever bhav is there, then kriya will come from that, action will come from that. But the real thing is bhav. And this is what Bhāgavatam is trying to teach us. That what we have to acquire is not something external. People give lot of stress to external things. And we also get impressed by external things. But bhakti is big change inside. That is the main thing. Externally one may be living like gopis. There is nothing external changed in them. They are housewomen. They are cowherd. They are not even some brahmanas' wives. Not even kshatriya wives. Vaishya wives. So externally there is nothing great about them, but they are the greatest, so much that Krishna is under their control. Na pareham nirvadya sanyujam brahmayusapi vivadayusapi. So he says that I cannot repay you. So this is what he is talking about here. Kevalena hi bhavena. And now he is going to talk about gopis only. Because that is the essence of bhakti. So therefore he says kevalena hi bhavena. Only by bhav. So Bhagavan therefore is called bhavgrahi. Bhavgrahi Janardana. That even if you are not doing things according to the vidhi, this, that, but bhav is there. But that bhav has to be pure. It should not have some mixture of something else. So this is what captivates or captures his heart. So that's the meaning here. Otherwise you may actually argue, well, these gopis, he is saying kevalena hi bhavena, but they were actually the sages in their past life. They did tapasya for a long time, they did this, they did that. So that may be there, but ultimately it is bhav. That tapasya is not the cause. All of them you can trace like that, Prahlad is also somebody, and Banasur is also somebody. But ultimately what brings them to Bhagavan, what brings them to the spiritual, world is the bhav and not any tapasya or any of these education. That may have been in their life, and in that process they actually met a devotee, and that's what brings a change. Otherwise all other these things, they also increase our pride. If this bhav or this bhakti is not there, then pride will come. Because this is the very demoniac quality of the ahankara. That doesn't leave. It just comes up. You try to say, okay, cool it. And then it comes up, again comes up. So only when this bhav is there, then naturally there is no pride after. So this bhakti is the only antidote for that. Nothing else.
Thinking, if we explain that, primarily they attained through bhava like that, kevalena if we give, then for any bhakta previously also that should still hold true. Then why isolate them separately?
Whom?
He's giving Prahlad Maharaj and all this, he gave for satsanga. I mean, they could be the causes, but ultimately through bhava only they are getting. So then how he will show distinction in terms of process between both?
The distinction between whom?
Say, for example, let us take Prahlad Maharaj, he gave example for satsanga there.
Hmm.
So even in that case, I mean, we can trace for Prahlad Maharaj also so many things, but the cause he is giving is satsanga. So then let us say that through that satsanga, he developed bhava, and from that he is getting bhakti.
Yeah.
Now here when we give the word kevalena to mean primarily bhava, then this distinction between, say, Prahlad Maharaj in satsanga
Yeah,
and the
because
gopis will break.
they also got satsanga. Gopis were included in before.
Yeah, so I am just trying to understand how.
Satsanga is the cause of bhakti.
Correct.
But then that is not the only thing. What is the outcome of that satsanga is bhava.
But to isolate them, then it is like a general
It's
thing.
not
so.
isolating. He says that this purity of this bhava is found
Okay.
in
That
Braj.
is- So that is the point. Niskalmasha bhava hai. Okay.
Yeah.
Babaji, when in the verse number 7 he says na dhita shrutigana na upasit mahattama and other things, so this is different from what we studied earlier in the bhajan kriya process, because in the outcome of the sadhu sangha, as Sripad Rupa Goswami describes in Bhakti Samrit Sindhu, adau sadhu sangha तथा bhajan kriya तथा anartha nivritti. So these also seem to be parts of bhajan kriya, because studying the scriptures.
Yeah, but he said they did not. He's saying that just by satsanga they got the anartha nivritti, everything happened just by satsanga only.
Without any bhajan kriya.
That's what he says. Prahlad was in the womb, and what a bhajan kriya he did. He was Kaumare Acharet Pragya Dharman Bhāgavatani hai. So he's stressing that. The main point you have to understand, what is his intention here? The intention here is that bhakti is not dependent on anything material. Bhakti comes only from bhakti. As already it was said, bhaktya sanjatya bhaktya vibhrati utpal kamtana. So that is what is. And then how does this come from which bhakti? He says satsanga. That is the starting. Now if somebody is pure, like Ajamila, he did not have offense. So just one name of Narayana immediately attracted Vishnu Dutas. So similarly, if one gets satsanga of great personality like Narada and one is not carrying any offenses, pure-hearted in the sense that it's not having offensive mentality, then that satsanga itself can bring you to bhav. That's what is being described here.
Can we also, Babaji, say that these personalities who have been mentioned in the verse number 5 and 6, their anartha nivritti happened in the past lives as we studied? Like
They have happened, but there also it has start with satsanga. Ādau Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. And that Ādau Shraddha, how does Shraddha come? That also by Sadhu Sangha. So before Shraddha also there is Sadhu Sangha.
So at some point of time in their previous lives, they would definitely have performed bhajan kriya and the processes which are mentioned.
Definitely we cannot say that. So I'm saying that Sadhu Sangha itself can give. This is what we have to understand about bhakti, that every limb of bhakti can give perfection. Just like name. This is what I'm saying. Ajamila did not do anything. He just chanted Narayana, son's name, then it happened. So now you can say, well, in the past life he has already done this. Maybe he has done it, but what is being described here is that if you are free from offense, then this one activity is good enough. So that bhajan kriya is only to remove your anartha. Bhajan kriya is not giving you bhakti. It removes anartha, The bhakti is coming from bhakti only. Of course, that bhajan kriya is also act of bhakti. So as long as anartha is there, then this bhakti does not manifest. Otherwise, this is what we read in Bhakti Sandarbha, that why we repeat. Jiva Goswami said that if one name is having this power, why there is Shastra says you have to repeat the name. So he says repetition is only to get rid of the anarthas.
Right. And the bhava which is referred in the verse number 8 is the same what Rupa Goswami describes just for prema. The same definition applies here.
Yes, because that only you can attain him. He says, Mami Anjasa, without that you cannot attain him. Prema only, you attain Krishna only by prema. So bhava here is not just bhava but prema. Okay, anything else, Mohini?
Yes, it is my initial question, what I asked in the beginning. It's not yet exactly clear because this Dharvagraph Manjari, it is offered in the puja and it's glorified in the Shastra, but it is correct then, because I don't understand why this example is mentioned. So does it mean, although it is mentioned in Shastra, popularly it's not cultivated for offering? Like Tulasi is also mentioned in Shastra, but people grow Tulsi to use it in puja, etc., and for offering. But Dharva grass is also mentioned in Shastra, but people don't cultivate for puja.
It's not talking about cultivating or not cultivating. It's saying this is not offered. Because this verse is primarily talking about offering. It's not talking about puja here. It's talking what do you offer him. Yadiyadist tamo loke yasya priyasva atmane tattad nivediyan mahyam anantaya kalpate. That's what he's saying. He's especially talking like somebody says, what food do you like? So there may be many things which are glorified in Shastra, but he says this is what you should give. So Dharma may be glorified, but that glorification is not for offering for food. And also it is not something you are using in puja, it is used in yajna.
Rajananda is asking, is Nama contained in prema?
Nama contained in prema?
Of Rajananda, do you mean, is prema contained in bhakti? Can you ask your question directly otherwise?
Yes, Pranam Babaji. Yes, I was asking because you said that even Nama was for counteracting the anarthas. But what about Nama also leading directly to bhakti, to prema?
Yeah, Nama can lead to prema. But you have to first become from anartha. Okay.